Today we're going to talk about how to take better photos of your corals in your tank with your cell phone. Hey guys, Devin with ReefDudes. Now I've had a bunch of people asking me how I take a lot of photos in my tank, and I do take some with my Sony SLR, but honestly the majority of the time I just use my cell phone. And I do post quite a bit to Instagram, so a ton of people have asked me what can I do to take better photos, so today we're going to dig into that. Now the first step, which should be obvious, is clean the glass of your tank. You want to get rid of all that little haze and that slight film that builds up. It's going to make all your photos look better, and you'd honestly be amazed at how many times I see pictures of photos of people with like hazy glass or streaks across it, and that really does hurt the quality of your photos. So if you're using a glass cleaner, you don't want to be spraying this necessarily on or by your tank. So I always do this further away, and rather than spraying the glass itself, I'll spray it on some paper towel. Now do this, at least a few meters or more away from your tank, and it's going to prevent those chemicals from kind of drifting into the water. This allows you to get that nice pristine glass, and then you don't really have to worry about chemicals and certain things drifting into your tank and causing future problems down the road. Now one of the main things I see is usually the photos are too blue, you don't see a lot of the detail in the image. So if possible, always best and easy solution is just simply whiten your lights. So I first open the camera app. As you can see, you can see all the corals, but it is fairly blue and washed out. For instance, with the Ecotech lights, I can open EcoSmart Live. We'll go in here and I'll just drag the color temperature down. I usually do somewhere between the 12 to 14K is generally what I use for photos. It still gives you some color pop, so you can still see the nice golds and purples in the torches, and right there makes huge difference. And that will fix 90% of people's photos. As we're going around, you can check out our fish, get a good photo of the shrimp. Now, if you don't have an easy way to control your lights, the next thing you can do if you want to keep it on the blue spectrum, there's certain cell phone filters you can use. A few commercial ones and a few other ones. So right now you can see again all the whites washed out. And I did pick up this guy at one of the aquarium shows. I believe they sell them on Amazon as well. And you clip these over the lens, and it does cancel out of the blues. Now the problem with this one is it is a little washed out. You can still see it's fairly orange. So I have seen some other ones that are either a lighter orange or more of the yellow spectrum work pretty well. Now if you don't have one of those, safety glasses. Yellow safety glasses. You can find these things all over the place, and you instantly put it on and it cancels out all that blue. Now the problem here is you do get a little bit of a yellow cast on it. Sometimes you can color correct it and kind of fix it. Next best one. I got these from Fritz actually at one of the Reef Palooza. It's a very light orange, and so far this actually works the best. This, the free pair of sunglasses. You see all those colors are, they're pretty close to actual, and you can still see them pretty well. So next kind of step. So super glasses. You got the yellow safety glasses, or you got these little filters you can buy on. There's some new ones that come out with different lenses, actually really cool. And if I can find those, I'll link them in the comments for you guys afterwards. So we're going to go back to a bit of a white spectrum. One of the next big things, you get all these little cell phone clip-on lenses, and being able to do macro shots with these is a really cool way. And usually most of these filters are less than 20 bucks off Amazon. I got a few different ones, and we can test a few out and see which one works the best. Now the only thing with these is you got to be fairly close to where you're taking the photo. So this guy's close to the glass, so we'll be able to get in and get some awesome photos with it. Now if your coral's too far away, as you can see, it's a bit blurred there. So sometimes what you're going to have to do is move your coral closer to the glass. So the next tip is going to be doing top-down shots. Now not everyone has a waterproof cell phone, so you pick up one of these little acrylic kind of trays, set this on top of the tank, and then you can put your cell phone inside of it. Now with your cell phone inside of it, you can get some really cool top-down shots, and it's going to cut down all that glare in the water. So as I put my phone in, got to find a nice clear, clean spot on the acrylic, and see this, as you move it around, you get some really awesome top-down shots. Zoom in a bit. So this is just, cheap little acrylic tray. It does a great job. You can move it around the tank and get all kinds of different cool views. You don't have to worry about the light reflection on it, which is usually one of the biggest issues with doing top-down shots. Look at those awesome polyps. Absolutely love this Millie. Where's my other favorite one over here? The Palmer's blue. So yeah, you get some really cool shots, and this is literally just a cheap acrylic container. Now that we got our awesome photos, the next step is to edit them if you want to tweak them a little bit and kind of touch them up. Now, the best app that I found is an absolutely 100% free app by Google called SnapSpeed. So you can open up your image in it, And generally, if you go to the bottom, I'm going to go to Tools and Tune Image. The one I normally tweak is color temperature. So if you drag it down, obviously it makes your photo a lot more blue. But to cancel out the blues, you can drag it to the right and warm up the color temperature. Now doing this is going to help you make it look closer to what the human eye sees. And that's basically my main goal with this. So that's the main one I use. There is other options like ambience and saturation. I don't really like to boost the saturation because it makes your photo look too fake. Brightness if it's too dark. But yeah, so doing that, shadows will take all the dark parts if you want to see a little more detail. But generally warmth is the one I use 90% of the time. The other option is for details. So come in here, you can just up the structure and the sharpening a little bit, and it'll help define a lot of those little polyps and edges, make it pop a bit more. So leave it like that, export, save, and there's an awesome cell phone photo that we just took. And it's a great looking photo, super easy to do, and we did that just straight with the phone, our little acrylic thing, top down shot. So really easy to take awesome photos with your tank. Again, some little tools like, the macro lenses and these camera filters can all help with the blues, but honestly the best way is just to turn down the blues on your tank or turn up the whites, either way. If you guys do want to pick up any of the cell phone lenses or filters, I'll drop some links in the comments. Otherwise, whiten those lights and start snapping some awesome photos. If you guys enjoyed this, as always, smash that like button. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next update.